Patty and Kristin in the morning.
Afternoon edition. And
Woohoo!
for most people, it truly is afternoon edition. Still morning for me.
Yes. How many hours have you been awake, Kristin?
4? I think I got up around 7.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Poppy, our dog, usually wakes me up with her crying. And recently I was like, no, I'm the boss. We wake up when I want to wake up. And so, yeah, she's about that. However, what I did find out is that she responds to the alarm. So when the alarm goes off, then I go, now we get up. And now
Mm.
she is not crying. She literally, this morning, just like my eyes, because she her eyes were closed to her bed. And she's sitting like this. She was awake. She was waiting for the alarm. Amazingness. But I am very happy. Welcome, happy Friday. And as you were in it, we premiere our bug bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really happy to have had Jimmy come live with me 2 days ago on Facebook. So I could say it is published, it is done, and I am not negation acknowledge gonna wait until it's a perfect bag because it's not. And I love that fact that I'm gonna do it in 3 parts. So there
3
you go.
parts? What's the next part?
Well, you inspire this. The next part, well, I have some of the things that I put in a video that I'm gonna give more details. Like
Mm.
for example, I didn't get to put it in there because I really did not want it to be more than half hour. Really should be less. But most bug out bags are about 30 to 45 minutes. So I felt good cutting it off there. So walkie talkies and clothes was not something in there because um the bug out bag really is for you to get out your house. You may come back. It could be like up to 72 hours. So I didn't put that in there. And then I have the whole walkie talkie, and we're gonna get new items. Then what else? Oh, map reading. Jimmy, most of us are used to maps on our phones,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of us can open a map and not know how to read it. So he's going to do that in part 2. And then the part that you inspired was the drills. So that's
Mm.
part 2, which is the drills. So yeah, and then the last part, whatever, yeah, hopefully much shorter and a lot more fun. And I'd love to get some people to come to our lives to share. So if you are watching the replay or joining us this morning and you have a bug out bag. Oh, wait. Kristin, don't you have one? Isn't today your anniversary?
That was my clothes one. And no, it's not I wouldn't call it an anniversary. I would call it 1 year since we potentially were very highly considering we may have to evacuate due to wildfires.
Got
So I had put together clothing so I could be ready to go. However, it was also clothing that I knew was my most comfortable comfort clothes. So if I did have to move out, I didn't want to be on uncomfortable clothes, which meant as soon as we knew we were safe, they came back out of my bag. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I put 3 parts because it's developing. I feel really good about this first video because it's 10 items. It's food, it's water, food, radio, flashlights, first aid kits, a whistle, batteries. I never know how to pronounce this. Toiletries.
Yeah,
Did I say it correctly?
you did.
Um, Local maps, cell phone, backup battery. And those were the ones that you know we can take for granted. And especially, and it's in that order because you could go weeks without food, but only days without water. So having water in there, that and the radio because if it is a natural disaster like a fire, and let's say powers are down, like you want to know where the fire is going and in
Mm.
what direction and what to do next. If you did flee out of your house, where do you go? So you have a radio. Um, is that what do you call those kind of radios?
See, I don't know. A walkie-talkie? Is that what you're thinking?
No, no, no. You know what? I think I'm gonna put it
A
in
CB
here.
radio, like the
A
truckers use?
regular radio that you could put
Oh, just a radio.
batteries. What is it
Oh,
called?
a radio? I mean,
Exactly.
because a boombox is
Yeah.
big, so you don't want. I wouldn't want to carry one of those.
No, no, you don't. So yeah, so I'll probably put the picture in here in a second. But yeah, just like things that make sense for so we're not things that we could take for granted. That's basically what those 10 items are,
Mm,
because most of them are in case you lose power or things get shut down, right?
mhm.
Because honestly, I mean, do you eat as soon as you get out of an emergency? Like, I know my system will shut down and I wouldn't pee, poop, or eat.
I would likely eat. Yeah, I get tired and hungry very quickly.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So food is number 2 in there.
Hmm.
And so I know for, like, people react differently. So I also would love for number 3 to be of this series to be based on the conversation that we had about what to do at the moment
Mm.
for panicking, and then what to do after when you get home, whether your home is there or not, or wherever you're at a safer place. What are some of the ways you could decompress and come back to you? And I know last week, and if you haven't checked it out, last week we gave a few Netflix movies, music, and all that fun stuff, which I will love. And I know I put it somewhere in the comments, but I will love to put the music that we had in I was gonna say job description, in the video description.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. Like a link to Spotify for it, or
that would be really cool if we could put that on Facebook and YouTube description. It's easier. Not a lot of people are gonna go, you know what? Let me go back to that video and look for that part when they talked about that playlist or that song that Patty played. And you asked me last week if there were hymns. I'm like,
mm.
yeah, they were. Maybe in my head I had something else what a hymn will sound like, and but they are, because I went back to Spotify and that's how they labeled it, as hymns. Like,
Oh,
duh, Patty, duh.
there you go.
You learn something new every day. Definitely. Cool. I have a question for you. I know we were talking about bug out bags, and I
Mm.
know we're gonna do this. So you tell me what direction we want to take. I
Hmm.
have a where were you on 9/11? We could talk about that, or we could go right into this question and then get to the 9/11. What do you think we
Uh,
should do?
Either one. I mean, yeah, tomorrow. Sorry, I have hair everywhere. It's like, and it's shorter now, so it's driving me crazy. I'm just
Drop
brushing at myself.
drop a comment if you're loving Kristen's new hairdo. Yes. Where is my banner over here? I am loving it. And you want to tell them what colors you're thinking too? Oh, that's gonna be fun, because if people
Oh,
drop some comments, that'd be awesome.
um, so I've been wanting to add some color ever since I quit my job because we could only do natural hair colors, and same was true for teaching. Like, it's been any job that I've worked since forever, except for when I was a teenager, has been, you need to have natural colors, know this, know that, know all these things.
Yeah.
So my goal after I was done with my job was to put some color into my hair. And then I held off because of the price tag on it. I'm like, my hair's fine. I'm not going to use that much color. I don't want to pay $120 to do this. And I learned that there's some conditioners you can put in that likely will last very limited time. However, I have a teal, purple, and rose gold coming. So there are plans to mix them. It's a little 2-ounce jar, but with my hair, I bet I could get that would go a long way. With your hair, no.
Wait, so is this like temporary or this is?
Mhm.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's a conditioner, not a dye. So it'll put color in the hair, but it'll also wash out after a few washes.
Oh,
There's
that's
conditioners you can get to keep the color in longer, but I only wanted to test the color.
yeah. I missed the part. So does it only work on certain hair, or is it like long, short? Like, what did you? I missed that part.
Your hair would likely need to be dyed before it even worked on your hair. However, like bleach.
Because it's black.
Mm-hmm. But
Gotcha.
yeah, but it will work on any hair. It's just your hair would eat up all the color. So
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, makes
Mhm.
sense. We could put some. We could change Jimmy's hair.
His head.
Hair. He has hair. It's just like I'm not here, and so he chooses to do completely take it off. But anyway, he might kill me in This Is Life. Oh boy. Okay. Let's go with the first one since you were open. Where were you on 9/11, my friend?
Where was I?
Oh,
So interesting story. Like it's minimal for me, and yet it's like a week long thing. A lot happened.
mm,
But I was at college. It was my freshman year, first week. I had an 8 a.m. class,
mm,
and I, yeah, I want to say it was an 8 a.m. class. It was really early in the morning. And after, I think it was around 9 in the morning, we would have chapel, or 9 or 9:30. So I had decided that day, my friend and I was like, hey, let's go to chapel. It's the first time that we'd ever gone since getting settled at college. And as we were headed there, people were chatting. But I was talking with my friend about whatever, and the mood seemed a little different.
mm,
And then we got into the chapel, and a lot of the people that I was with, or they'd already been up going to classes, not paying attention too much. So we were given the news at chapel.
mm,
And then classes were canceled for the day. I went back to my dorm, and like people were in dorm rooms, huddled around TVs. And
mm, mhm.
I don't remember the time frame. So I don't remember, because I wasn't watching the TV myself that closely. I don't remember if both planes had already crashed at this point in time and we were watching the towers burn,
Yeah.
or if the second one crashed while the TVs were on and we were watching. But yeah, that I was in college. And then to say why it was a week long experience was it's a little weird, because Chicago was right across the river from us,
Mm,
and there were cities. So I'm in Michigan, which is relatively unaffected, but there were cities that were getting put on high alert in case something else
yeah.
happened. So
Yeah.
Chicago's right across the lake. My brother was living in Chicago.
Mm,
And so there was some concern there. And then actually at the end of that week, we ended up closing the whole campus for a day because there was a bomb threat that somebody called in. So,
really?
so we started the week with that, and then ended the week closing down because of a bomb threat. So it was a very memorable time period
Mm,
of few
mm.
days. So,
Wow.
mhm.
Wow. And was it like a false threat at the end? Did they find out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody was thought it was hysterical to use it this time. That's
Mm,
crazy. Yeah,
yep.
I hear you. Okay. So college, and your college obviously was in Michigan,
Mhm.
right? But it was
Yep.
closer to Chicago. Is that what you're saying?
Um, I lived on the west side of Michigan, so
Hmm.
east side's Detroit,
Yeah.
west side Grand Rapids, is where my college is, and we're 45 minutes away from Lake Michigan, I believe, by car, but it's more western, and
Mm.
Chicago's a 4 hour, 3.5 to 4 hour car drive from there, so
Yeah.
close. So, and yeah, a lot of us had, since it was the closest big city other than Detroit, um, a lot of us knew people over in Chicago as well.
Where was Lance? Was he with you?
No, we didn't know each other yet. 2 years
Oh
later, we
wow.
met. So I don't know. Not so he had been thinking about going into the military just because his dad had he'd been in the military his whole life.
Mm,
So it'd be fair to ask him. I don't know if I ever did, if 9/11 had any impact to really push him forward, but it
mm,
was 2 years later that he joined. So it wasn't
mm,
a sign. He and his brother both went together 2 years later. So it may have been inspired by that, but they
mm.
they were both more than old enough to go on 9/11. So I don't think it was inspired because of that.
Got it. Wow. Okay. So yeah, for me in nine, I was working in Manhattan.
Mhm.
After the first time I resigned from the YMCA 3 times. So this is the first time I had resigned from the Y to have a full time career. So I was office manager for this Spanish radio in Manhattan. So I was in 57th Street, which is Midtown, more or less. And as usually, I was running late to work. And I remember coming out of the train station, it was the A train, and being so focused that I need to get my butt to the office before whatever 8:30 or whatever time, that I was walking so fast, and I saw people facing, what was that? I guess when I got out, they were facing more west.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't know what the heck people are pointing at. So I'm like zooming to get to work. I get to the office, and usually the receptionist will tell me if I have any like messages right before I go up to my floor. And she goes, Patty, a plane just hit the tower. And she's panicking, and I'm like, oh, what? I'm thinking the radio tower.
Mm.
So in my head, I'm like, that is an emergency, because I gotta go now and tell my boss, which was the CFO, what's happening. So I run into my office, and everyone's panicking. I don't remember what happened right there at that moment. Most likely in panic and shocked once realizing that it was actually the towers. So upstairs in the studio, there was a lady who's Peruvian. I was close to. She was like an older lady. She was like my mom work mom, whatever you want to call it. And I had called to see how she's doing, or she had called me. I don't remember which way.
Mm.
And she's like, my son is in the tower, in the second tower. And so she's panicking. So I run upstairs, and I'm trying to calm her down. And so I could hear, it's hard when you're live. Imagine
Mm.
this is a job, and there's actually a disaster that we have to broadcast, right? So she
Mm.
wasn't broadcasting, she was behind the scenes. Like, so I go up, and I forget the DJ's names. Sorry if you ever watch this. Whatever, they were talking. So they're reporting real life news. The TV was on, and she's just in panic. And
Mm.
all I remember, it's watching them live, watching the TV, and holding her, seeing the second tower or the first tower come down. Her
Mm.
son was in the second, I believe, fifth floor. So he got out. uh she didn't know that.
Mm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so here I am. All I remember is her pain. And and she's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, of course, right? Because I was only in charge of the administration. So I mean, obviously, this is a multi whatever billionaire radio station. So everyone just went home basically. My supervisor was the controller. I think that's what was her job, her title is. So she called me. I had to report how much money the radio station was losing.
Really?
And so I'm obviously at work. I'm trying to call my mom. I'm trying to call my sister, my dad. Somehow I find out where everyone's at. And then my mom keeps calling me. I'm like, Mom, I gotta stay. I gotta send this report. She goes, tell them they're losing a lot of money and get the heck out of that building. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you still in that building? And I had always had this mentality like, oh, the ship goes down, like I'm gonna stay, even though I'm like my little tiny position, but I'm like very serious about it. And when she
Uh-huh.
told me that, it a perspective, right? Like, oh yeah, lots of money, and you know what? I may be next because, as you were saying, there were threats for other cities,
Mhm.
and so that's when my mom goes, "Listen, I'm coming." And then she was working in Long Island. She's like, "We're not gonna take the highway. I'm with you on, and get out of there, and go to the shop." My aunt used to have a printing shop right across the bridge, that was the 59 bridge, which not far from where I was.
Mm.
And so that's all she told me. Get out, cross the bridge, go to La Imprenta, that's a printing shop. And so that was the command. I went into she brought me back to reality. She became my mom. Tell them this and
Mhm.
now do that. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And it's so funny how we only have memories of these little strong moments, right? I when I finally got sense into myself, like I went down. Nobody was at the reception. The receptionist, she was also Peruvian. It's so funny.
Mhm.
Those three Peruvians, one in the bottom, middle, top. Hysterical. She was gone.
Hmm.
What I remember is leaving, and people, it was like a it felt like zombies because people were walking in my head, what it seemed very slow. Now by that time that I got out, people that were in the towers were going north.
Mm.
So I did see some people in their suitcases full of dust. And but more than anything, I saw people basically walking dead, like really not, people were not even, we weren't even looking at each other.
Mhm.
And so I'm in 57th Street, so I got to walk up 2 blocks to 59th and then head out to cross the bridge. The other scene that stays in my head is I'm in the bridge and I'm walking, and there's some cars that, it's a two-way bridge, that all of a sudden was only people. So there
Mm.
was some cars left, and I had that moment, like I turned to the right, and towards the west I could see the smoke from the towers. And I remember seeing this lady, because we looked at that at the same time, and she didn't say anything, I didn't say anything, but we definitely thought the same thing. What if the bridge is next?
Mm.
It's crazy. She didn't say that, I didn't say that, but we looked at each other like that, like, smoke, we're in a bridge,
Mhm.
crap. And what I remember is I started walking really fast. And the other picture I have, which I love this moment, it gives me chills every time I talk about it. So I mentioned my aunt's printing shop right across the 59 bridge. All I remember is walking fast, and midway towards the bridge, I see my dad at the beginning of the bridge standing, like not on top, like he's smart, right? So he's the rails here, he's holding on to something, and he's doing this.
Mm.
And I see this, and I said, I'm safe. I got a little bit ways to go. I'm safe.
Mhm.
And seeing my dad wave at me like that, and I could only think about so many people. We walked like zombies. So again, I only remember those scenes. Lady,
Mhm.
oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden, my dad, safety. And we get to the printing shop. My uncle is giving water to people. People are using the printing shop's bathrooms. And all I remember is saying, I need to go to the back of the printing shop. I need a moment. And I'm sure you'll know what I did, only because we are language nerds. I've been journaling since I was 21,
Mm.
20. Well, yeah, like 20, 21. I'm 25 or something like that. Anyway, I pulled out my journal and I started just like doing a prayer journal.
Mm.
And I like drawing in my journals. I drew the towers and I was like just really praying for everybody. And after that, I remember what happened. The last thing I remember with that is my dad being like big time persecuted. My dad looks Arabian, and
Mm.
from Middle East, and he drove a white van. So go figure that my dad had to like stay home. I don't believe he worked for like a
Mm.
week or so. But that, yeah. So a lot of this story is certain like conversations, my dad, small moments, because we go into shock. I don't
Mm.
remember like how did I go from one place? Poof, I only remember another episode.
Yeah.
Because our system shuts down. So yeah, I really do like that question, only because it was a moment in time for most of us who live here in the United States.
Mhm.
In Peru, there's been earthquakes that was part of, terrorist attack happened, and so it was new here for all of us, right? And that and a few weeks later, I resigned and went back to the YMCA to continue my passion to working with the youth. That's my story. That's where I was. So
Mm.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't have my water because I'm really thirsty because I was
Oh,
talking a
no.
lot.
I can drink
Hey,
some for you.
hey, now I'm jelly. I want some. Oh, anyway,
Mm.
please, if you're watching the replay, we would love to hear why. I'm speaking for myself, Chris. I'm not sure, but I would love to hear where were you,
Mm.
Chris? And I would love to know where Lance was. I do know that fast forward 2006, when I first moved to Staten Island, my roommate also was in college, and my neighbor moved from Missouri right after 9/11.
Mm.
So there was a lot of decisions that happened in 9/11,
Mhm.
which there's also been a lot of decisions that happened in 2020. Um, yeah,
Mm.
in those kind of moments, decisions happen, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
today is not today. Tomorrow is 20 years,
Mm,
since that happened, which 20 years
mhm.
since I was a freshman in college.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you say is your 20 years? Well, when did you graduate college?
2005.
Yeah, me too. Because I dropped out of college, so
Mm.
I didn't graduate till 2005. Oh, yay! The class of 2005. Because I am older than you by how old are you?
I have to think about it most days. 38.
30. I'm 44. Yeah, so I was behind 4 years. Yeah. No way, I'm 40. I dropped out for a couple years, and I went to four different colleges. Anyway, you're on time. If you have not graduated from college, it's a scam. I'm kidding. If that's one of your desires, you're still on time.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna call it. Kristen.
Yes, Patricia.
So again, please drop your comments. I'd love to know. Even you know what? How we said that we want people, you can come and join us.
Mm.
Join the fun. Shall we go for this? Do you have the
Well, my phone's
num
charging again, but I wonder random number. Here we go.
all right, let's
38. Have we done 38 yet?
see. Número 38. I'm making a video tomorrow. I'm not really often on Facebook. There's like 50 something likes and like 12 comments for my grandma. So we got a long interview tomorrow. My grandma I'm most likely gonna like have questions, take her out to eat, come back to questions, take a nap, and then come back again.
You can ask her all of them.
And like in parts, she's gonna be tired. Okay, what number was that?
38.
What I love most about social media.
After you just said you're not on Facebook, you get to go first.
Okay, well, let's type that. We'll type. Do you mind typing that? Okay,
What
I'll
was
go
it? What do you
first.
love most about social media?
Yeah, 38, right? Let's so exactly is says what I love most about social media.
Oh, that's in the chat. Let's try that again.
Yeah, right in the banners. Oh, my bad. I have not seen the comments in here. Oh, that was you.
I just heard that.
That's cool. That's cool. Somebody joins, they'll know. I love that I get to interact with my family in Peru, my family in Canada, and my family in the United States. So it was good timing during 2020. So although I did have two of my aunts pass, it was good timing. Good timing to get them on videos. Good timing for them to say, I'm so happy. And I'm still remembering my aunt. She's the one who owned the printing shop, the one that I just shared 9/11. She was most likely the one that was most likely on the phone with my uncle saying, give water and do this, because she was driving with my mom from Long Island. So yeah, social media got us together to celebrate. We celebrated birthdays. So we did a video for my grandma, who we thought this may be the end, and she's right here. It's 2021, and my grandma's in Long Island today.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, still kicking, still dancing, still. Claudia, have you given her beer? Because I know I didn't last week. So I don't know how she's doing her beer intake. One of the questions in Facebook was, Mamita, what kind of beer? The questions are really fun. So if you have a question for my 92-year-old grandma, drop it in the comment because I'm gonna ask her tomorrow. So yeah, my favorite outlet though is Instagram. I get to hang out with you guys, so that's and most of the people. Oh, you know what's interesting? My paying clients come from LinkedIn and Facebook. I gotta note that.
Yeah.
I gotta make a note of that. No, okay, no, my goal setting parties. Never mind. No, Instagram is still there. So okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
I love that. It connects. It really does, and especially during pandemic time, it was great. It was great to start that messenger that we're all part of. And yeah, what about you, Kristen?
Yeah. was thinking about that, and while you were talking, it reminded me that social media allowed me to be able to be present for my grandpa's funeral without being there. So the funeral home, he was my last living grandparent, and he passed last fall. It's been about a year. So it's in the middle of COVID, while not really even sure like if it's a great idea to make a flight to go somewhere anyway.
Yeah.
And they were wanting to keep everything small. Like most of the family was
Yeah.
saying, well, we don't want people coming in from places that could be carrying germs from the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So it made it possible for me to still be present for the funeral without being there. So that was streaming live on Facebook. So
Mm.
it made it possible. Um, and then yeah, I like having fun, like being able to go live, especially for Language Ninjas. So if you're on the Language Ninjas Instagram, yes, that over. My camera's backwards over wherever. Um, so yeah, if you're over there, like every other week, Kayla and I are doing lives with some language and yoga, or more or less, it's turned into rolling around on the ground in some way or another. And I've had on some other friends to do like moving our bodies, so moving like a ninja. Another friend taught rope flow, and so I like being able to bring on different friends, and now also educators to answer
Mm.
questions too that parents may have that they didn't think to ask about. So there you go. There's another question. If you have questions about back to school for educators, Patty and I and two other educators will be going live on Instagram on Tuesday. So we'll be answering or giving, I would say, answering questions and giving back to school tips and tricks for mostly parents and also teachers. So did that
Yeah.
answer the question, or did that
I,
go too
I,
far?
I like the what'd you say? Treat no tricks and
tips,
treats.
tips and tricks.
Gotcha. Yeah, I want to put it up here. So
Mm.
that's it's September 14th. And so that's Language Ninjas. That's her
There's
gram
Grace.
page. She's the future leader
Mhm.
of Language Ninjas.
Wait, so yeah, scroll just a little further, just a minute. Go downward, down a little further. Keep going. Where is it? There it is. The video closest to you. Can we hear that one?
Yes, ma'am. Oh.
Are you wondering what it is to be a language ninja? Well, it's all like using your words and like being and using positive words. That was my favorite. Which one's yours?
We have the same one.
um,
I think she's gonna say it here.
My name is Grace. Are you wondering what it is to be a language ninja?
it must be the other one. Oh, that's weird. Why would they be out of order?
I think it's this one.
Oh,
What does it mean to be a language ninja?
Well, it means using your words, and I'm the head of it.
She is the head of Language
she is the head of
Ninja.
it.
Absolutely. So yeah, go ahead and go there. And then the last thing, so that is
Here,
oh,
click
go
on
ahead.
the link tree real quick.
This
Link
one?
where it says Linktree/Language Ninjas. Click that. See if it'll load. I have our parent workshop
Mm.
link to sign up for it. So
Mhm.
if it pops up. Anyway, that Linktree link, when it pops up, the top link here says parent goal setting party. That's where you can sign up for the parent goal setting time we're doing at the end of the month.
That is absolutely true. We this is the Youth Developer / Language Ninja, so there's a whole bunch of parents in there. I lost the link. However, guess
You lost
what
it.
I'm gonna do?
Go
We're
to
gonna put
language
it in the
ninjas and put
comments.
it-
I thought I was sharing it. That's so interesting because when you click on things, it takes you out of the what do you call it?
Have it.
Yeah. All right. So it is currently in the comments right
Oh,
now.
you did it. I was about to do that myself.
Oh, well, look at that. Great minds think alike. Is that the saying? Yes, that
Yes,
is
it
the
is.
saying. All right, cool. Yeah, and one thing I want to just add about so the Calendly that is in the comments, really simple in here. Yes, it's coming from yours truly, Patty and Kristin in the morning. Our goal is to get you to unload all these pressures that you may be putting on right now, parent. If you're waking up feeling pressure about how you're going to get things done, or even how you're going to take care of like you right there, because there's so many other things to take care of, right? We want to give you a space and an outlet, zero children, us, you, and us, to write things down. Kristin, what's the difference between a dream and a goal?
Goal is written down.
That's
How
right.
many people write down their goals, Patty?
Only 3%, my dear. 3%. So if you want to be part of the 3%, and you want to get clear on what you really want,
What you really want.
Now tell me. Where's my Spice Girl song? I know YouTube
I'll tell
will
you what I
block
want.
this.
I want to write down my goals.
Click in there, click on the 30th, and boom, 6 p.m. and you hit confirm, which I'm not gonna do because how am I gonna do this, right? And it'll lead you right to it. So again, that is coming up at the end of the month. So, and we'll be talking more about it as the next 2 weeks come along. It is in a full hour. This was the longest Patty and Kristin in the morning show.
We did start a little late, and yes,
That's true. Oh, that's so true. That's so true. So we talked about a little bit about the bug out video premiere you could check on a Youth Developer, and then we went right into where were you on 9/11, and we ended with what do you love about social media. We would love to hear your comments. Drop it in the comments below. And let us know if you want to come and talk to us, because we would love to have you next week. Absolutely. All right, Kristin.
Right.
Do we have a goodbye thing? Have we figured that out yet?
No. Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna come up with one right now. I want some. What does Grace say at the end? Like for you, like what's something that Grace says? I want to think about something what Claire and Sammy say or love to say. I'll ask them. You want to ask Grace? I'll ask the little ones.
She and I mostly talk once in a while. So it's probably like, all right, I'm done now. Bye. I've talked as much as I want, so we're done now.
I love it. Yeah, I know. Grace, I'm gonna see you soon in Wacky Wednesday. Who do we have in there too? Okay, so the McCocos, little Crystal, and Joshua, and of course the little Sippy. So I'm looking forward for next week for Wacky Wednesday. All right, we're going. You know what? We're done here.
We're done. Bye.